I remember my mom, she would come with me to the studio sometimes and would just sit in on my sessions while she was working. And she later revealed to me that in those moments when she would be at the studio with me or in the clubs with me, she would tell me that she'd be in there praying under her breath and just releasing God's authority over my life. She'd be literally praying against everything that I was doing, essentially the plans of the enemy over my life, and committing me to the Lord.
Paul tells us in the book of Ephesians that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of the world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. So that means we're called to wrestle in the invisible realm.
I was brought up in the church. I could not wait to turn 18 because I was like, I want to do my own thing. I want to see what the world has to offer. I want to live the way I want to live and make music and dance and perform. Church seems so restricting and limiting. I wanted to go out and shine. It was the prayers of my parents that really shielded me from a lot of stuff. And being in church, growing up in church, being around people who are praying and reading the Bible and worshiping, it introduced me to the atmosphere of the Lord. Even though I didn't understand it fully as a child, I would see people speaking in tongues. I would see people praying for people and people like manifesting, but I didn't understand that. And in my mind, it seemed fake. But I was in that environment and my parents were raising me up in the knowledge of God. The Bible talks about that. It says to train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart. And that's so true. I strayed for a while, but then when I started to follow God truly, he started to reorder my steps.
So my struggle was lust. I grew up in the church. I knew who God was. I was baptized. I knew Jesus, but I knew him on Sunday. Monday through Saturday was all me. Part of that was what I experienced growing up. I saw preachers, I saw deacons, I saw leaders in the religious community doing their thing on Sundays. But then I would see them throughout the week doing the same thing that I wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, well, if they can do it, then so can I. The women, the alcohol, the drugs, whatever came with that lifestyle, I was going to embrace fully. I found myself literally crashed into a building, drinking and driving, pursuing that lifestyle. And I woke up in jail. And that's when I felt the nudge of God saying, this is enough. God gave me an option at that moment. Continue what you're doing, which leads to death, or follow me and experience life like you've never experienced it before. He showed me what led to me being fired from job opportunities, squandered relationships, people that I had offended. And so I made the decision at that moment that I was going to finally serve him. I knew what it was like to go to church. This is my first time going to God. My life literally changed. The things that I used to desire, the fact that I never wanted to be married, I never wanted to have kids, I wanted to always pursue just the bachelor lifestyle, that was completely eradicated. And now I had a desire to have a wife, have a family. I had a desire to exemplify the things that God had created me to become.
Prayer works. Prayer works. We may not instantly see results. Sometimes we do. Oftentimes we don't. We are the Lord's. We are God's. His timing is perfect. And I'm thankful that my parents really covered me in prayer. Even though I rebelled, their prayers and God's faithfulness really did protect me.